So Mooncakes podcast is on again, and it's episode 58. I'm Debbs, and I'm here with my good friend Lizzie.
What's up, everyone?
And it's
2023.
2023.
A lot has happened since the last episode. My God.
A lot. It's I was wondering, like, how do I approach this? How do I say this? But
there's no easy way to say it, man.
There's really no easy way to say it.
You went through a lot of shit.
And this is a trigger warning for anyone who is sensitive to hearing about suicide or anything like that. Like, this episode's gonna go in it, and it's gonna be my perspective on, like, I was diagnosed bipolar like about 10 years ago, and just my take on basically, I mean, there's no easier way to say this.
Just say it, Deb. This is where we just lay it all down. There's no sugarcoating here. And that's the beauty of Mooncakes.
Yeah.
We're not trying to sugarcoat things.
Basically, my mom passed away due to suicide. I mean, there's no other way to put it. She did it by hanging herself. And I know that sounds really dark and sounds really just sad and everything, but I want people to know how joyous she was, during when she lived, and how happy she was during those times when she wasn't depressed. But she was battling depression all her life, even when we were young kids at like 13, 12 years old. Like, I still remember my mom having one of those kind of close to almost like a manic episode. But
I came into the picture when she was going through that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
I didn't know that you were there.
Yeah, so in middle school, I came into the picture, and that was my first, like, very intimate, like, meeting with, mental disorder. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what it was.
Yeah. That was for me. That was fresh too, and like, it's like I still remember my mom, like, just feeling manic and just didn't know what she was saying or doing, and me trying to
just calm her
by reading the Bible to her, reading like children's Bible to her, like anything to calm her down. And
there was no information really readily available at that time.
No, not at all. And like, as a kid, you see your mom like not doing well. It's hard to understand or articulate like what is happening to your mom, but it's not good. So you try to be helpful as much as you can, but nothing you do seems to help. But eventually she got out of that depression and got out of that manic episode and was able to be present with us again and be happy, like the happy Annie that we all love and know.
Oh, so quirky, so funny. She's
sassy.
Like sassy, one of a kind.
Yes.
Like, she runs on her own time.
Exactly.
She'll do what she wants.
What she did. And so, I mean, leading up to her death, even, she, like, this is the decision she made, that when she wanted to go and everything. But leading up to that, I just know she said she was afraid of, like, God, like, judging her, and, like, that she's not a good enough Christian, that God couldn't possibly forgive her sins, like, all these very religious kind of thinking, and, like, thinking she wasn't good enough. But I told my mom, like, the way you think that God looks at you, you think that God wouldn't forgive you. You think God, he would forgive a sinner like you? Like, these are just how you feel about yourself. And you're projecting your feelings onto God about how you feel about yourself. Like, you not liking yourself, you not being happy for yourself. Don't put that on God, like, and saying, like, oh, God wouldn't, like, no, that's on you. That's on your own self-esteem. And so she just wasn't feeling great about herself, and she was doom scrolling, meaning, like, she was looking at, like, videos on YouTube talking about the end of the world and earthquakes and war.
There's some crazy shit online.
So many things
that would freak the shit out of you.
Yeah, so my mom felt like something was coming. Like, oh no, like a big thing is coming.
Well, the Christians always say the second coming, the coming. You know what I mean? Where, it's scary. It's a scary picture that they paint.
Yeah. So my mom was like, just, something big's gonna happen, and the big thing happened. It was losing her to suicide. And She didn't go right away. Like she was in a vegetative state and had on a ventilator for like a couple days, and then until we decided as a family, we decided right away, like after hearing from the doctors saying that, like, this is it, like she's not coming back as the Annie that that's the person that like if we were to, there are two ways you can go about this. You either let that person go and like they make it as comfortable as possible for them, or you keep them in this vegetative state and get a feeding tube in their stomach and a catheter and like all these things to keep their body functioning. But that's it. That's it. Those are your options right now, because the way it's going, that's pretty much it. And so we're just like, no way would anyone, or especially my mom, would want to be a prisoner in her body like that. And just like, she just wants to be free, Annie goes on Annie's time, right? So we were just like, no, we're gonna opt for the choice of just like letting her go. But like as a family, it was before the doctor told us the news. I had hope. I had like this, no, she's gonna make it through. She's a fighter. Like she's gonna come back. Everything's gonna be fine. And it was when like the doctor finally like gave us the talk, like, oh, like, do you want to sit down for this? Fuck. Like that's never good when you want to sit down for this. I'm like, no. And Don was acting cool, like, no, we're good. I'm like, yeah, no, we're fine. And that's when it wasn't fine.
Yeah.
And like he told us, like, I'm sorry, like that's just the reality of it. Like,
God, it must have been like an unreal moment.
Yeah.
To hear that.
Yeah, because she was exhibiting a type of seizure. It's a particular type of seizure that doctors see that shows that it's 99.9% that like she has severe brain damage, and if she were to come back, she won't be the same person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. That's when I like, as soon as the doctor left, I was like so dramatic, like, no! I threw my Kindle on the floor, like, no!
Did you break it?
No, I didn't break it.
Oh, okay. Wow, Kindle is sturdy. Yeah, but I mean, like, yes, why wouldn't you act out? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, it's the news you never want to get.
Yeah, it's so tough. And like that's up to that point I had hope, and then after that it was like downhill for me, like how I was feeling hopeless, feeling like she's actually really gone.
Yeah.
Like, even though she's still breathing in front of us, but like mentally she's just trapped. And so I was just like, man, oh man. But as a family, we really came together, and we were able to decide when my mom would leave, let go of my mom and what day it would be. Be on a Sunday. It was on a Sunday.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that I got to have one last night with my mom overnight. I got to stay that last night she had on Earth, and I kept her company throughout the night. I like sang to her. I read poems. I talked to her. Just anything I could do, anything, and just hold her hand a little bit, and just be there. Let her know that like she's not alone. And that's and then hearing, like, knowing that the night was closing, coming to an end, and that the day was breaking in and daylight was coming through. That's when like the realization, like, oh my gosh, this is like the final hour, the final countdown. It's happening. We're just going closer and closer to that moment, that date, that time.
Like, when you have to say goodbye
when you
forever.
have to officially say goodbye forever. Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't say forever, because I always feel like,
physically
saying goodbye. But for for how long, you know what I mean? It's unknown.
Exactly. So but yeah, it's we thought as soon as they took her off the ventilator, we thought like, oh, she's gonna go really quickly. Homegirl like stayed with us for like 2 hours.
Wow.
And it was only until they actually like they took her off the ventilator, but they left the tube in. But they took her off the ventilator, but she was still able to breathe on her own with the tube in. And then as soon as they're like, okay, like now we're gonna next thing we're gonna do after that, since it's been 2 hours, it's like we're gonna actually officially take the tube that's down her throat. We're gonna take that out. And as soon as he said that, like, me and Donna are like, oh, like we got to be there, you know. And my sister Diana and my dad went to use the restroom, and so they took out the tube, and as soon as they took out the tube and like they took the tube out and got rid of it, me and Donna, my twin sister, we like went next to my mom's side and held her hand, and yeah, just a couple more breaths, and then it stopped. And then you could just feel this warm, living body just become stiff and cold.
I'm familiar with that.
Stiff and cold, and you're just like,
it's a weird thing.
It's a weird thing. Like, it's just a vessel.
Yeah, it's so stiff, you guys. It doesn't feel like real.
Yeah,
it's strange. It's like, you think our body would be so pliable and flexible,
Yes.
you know, even though it's like, you know, your soul's gone.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just become like stone.
It's like stone, exactly. And so, yeah, she was just stiff, and like we're just like, wow, like it's so crazy how this vessel carried this spirit, the soul, whatever you want, energy, whatever you want to call it.
It's like an organic, like robotic vessel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It is. And you know, up to that point, like we said all we could say within those 2 hours. Especially my mom, we played music, her favorite songs.
What is her favorite song?
Oh,
is it a Chinese song?
She likes Teresa Tang, I think it's Teresa Tang.
What's her favorite song?
It's like this.
I actually want to hear it later. Like,
yeah. We had the music on for her, and then we also picked some songs that we like thought she would like.
Mm-hmm.
And played like some old school, like John Denver.
Oh yeah, John Denver. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we played that. There's a song called Annie's Song.
Mm-hmm.
She liked that a lot because about Annie.
I know, she would be like, "It's my favorite. It's my name. It has my name.
It has my name." Exactly. It's a really good song. And there's just a couple other songs, but yeah, we played like entire playlist for her. We sang with her. We like reminisce about happy memories and like just cry together, laugh together, and just curled up around my mom, you know, and holding her hand. Like, if I were to go, like that's the way I would want to go. Like, just like surrounded by your loved ones, and like just having just such a warmth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just been.
You said the nurses were excellent too.
So sweet, They're so understanding of us. Like, we set up like my overnight stay. Donna went there before me to just hang out for my mom for a few hours at night. And then I would come and we'd switch off, and I would come for the rest of the night. And Donna made it really like cozy for me. She set up all the photos of the family along the ledge, and some like stuffed animals that had the face of my mom and Donna's face, like as penguins. But like,
oh, I know that one.
Yes. And the family scrapbook that has it's like a family scrapbook with all these pictures of us, and it was really nice. And a little vase of flowers, and it just made it less sterile. Made it more cozy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a wonderful night, and I'm so glad I got to have that night, because if my mom were to just hang herself and she went just like that, and I didn't get the closure, I didn't get to say anything to her, like, I would probably be more distraught.
Yeah.
But because, you know, her suicide, she didn't go right away. She was on a ventilator and everything. I got to say my piece with her. I got to say what I wanted to say and let her know how much I love her, and just guide her to her final resting place, wherever that is, you know? Just be at peace with us. And I mean, the main thing that we told my mom is like, we're not mad at you. We're not upset with you. We're not disappointed. Like, we just want you to be happy, and we just hope you are happy, and that you're in a better place, and you're no longer plagued by your dark thoughts, you know. And we're just so happy that you got to be our mom. And you know, it's just it's the toughest part was really seeing my dad. My dad, like, you know, give my mom a kiss, and like just cheering up and stuff, and just like, you know, like,
because your dad's naturally a jolly person.
And this like easygoing guy, but like to finally see like that affection with my mom, that he's, you know, when she was alive, they hardly show that kind of affection.
No kissing, no hugging, no holding hands and stuff.
But like with my mom, he finally showed this affection, and like he's just said like, "Oh, like, save me a place." Like
He didn't have to show that affection, but he did it.
he did.
He
It's
went
what his soul wanted to
yeah.
do, and like
Mm.
the saddest part was
Oh, man.
when I told him what the doctor said to me, like that she's not coming back. Because both me and my dad were like hopeful. We're like, oh yeah, like
Me too.
she's
I
gonna
was
come back. She's gonna bounce back.
yeah.
But as soon as I heard from the doctor, and then I had to go tell my dad that, man, oh
Oh, so
man,
your dad wasn't there. You had to
no, we had to
go
go tell
so
him. Yeah,
it was just you
and
and
Donna,
Donna?
talking to the doctor
And you
at
had
the
to tell
place.
Diana?
Yes, we got back and I told my dad like it was just me and my dad, and I said, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Dad,
Man.
it's not good." And I told my dad like she's not gonna come back, and if she is, she's not gonna be the Annie that we know. And yeah, it's just, and he's just like,
I'm
and then
sorry. I didn't know you had I thought you guys were all with the doctor and
no, we were all
saying
had to
that.
me and Don had to break the news to my sister and to my dad, and
That must have been so
hardest
difficult.
to say to my dad, and my dad's like, and of course my dad just breaks, and he's like, Annie, like why, like poor Annie, he's got of all the people, like why Annie, like,
Mhm.
and that's when he starts tearing up and stuff,
Mm.
hearing that like the love of your life, the person that you,
Spent so many years with, you
yeah.
you guys share photos of them back, like, when they were, like, I don't know, 20 late
Yeah, late
20s?
20s. Yeah, yeah. They're in college when they met.
Yeah, and they were
Yeah.
wearing bell bottoms and, like,
Yeah.
wearing, like, swanky clothes and, they were
Yeah.
just so young together and
No, my mom was the hot girl, like the hot rich girl
oh, yeah, your dad was
in
like, he had to
college.
have her.
Yes, yes.
Had to have
He
her.
says, I still remember I still remember you were the prettiest girl at school. And like I was so lucky, and all the guys are jealous of me because you liked me, you picked me. And
Mm.
um yeah, he's like, you're just the prettiest girl, and you're rich, and you get in, and you chose me, and you like, he
Yeah,
just
she
realized,
left her family to
yes,
be with him here.
she was so determined to be with my dad that she went to Hong Kong to let her dad know, like, no, I'm gonna move
And
wherever
she
Leonie goes.
was his favorite, your grandpa's favorite,
Was,
right?
yeah, it was, and after that, she was not. But yeah, but she bought even the rings, like the rings herself, because I don't think my dad could afford it at the
Mhm,
time.
mhm.
And yeah, so she just bought some rings, the like gold bands, and she's all right. I'm ready to get married to this guy. And she just was down. My mom was always down,
Yes, definitely.
always life on her terms, and she would just go for it. And that's something that I want to take from this loss is like how much my mom like lived her life the way she wanted it to be, and just like also to let anyone who's listening know that like my mom had a great life. It wasn't like this shitty, dark way of living that's like, I gotta kill myself. It's like,
The way
no.
they portray it on film and stuff,
Yeah,
a
like she
lot
was
of
like,
the times,
no,
like,
no.
they have, like, a terrible life. It's just
Yeah, there's a reason. There's gotta
yeah.
be some reason, right? Like depression was her reason, right? Like
Mhm.
depression is just a mental illness. And that's why I really want to bring more awareness to mental illness. And
Especially the Asian community.
yes.
This is, like, before our generation, it was not even, like, respected as, like, a real thing.
Mm-hmm,
A
mm-hmm.
lot of people are still in denial
Oh yeah.
that, going to psychiatrist or a therapist, like, that's, like, a no-go. It
Totally.
doesn't exist,
Yeah, yeah. It's like
and
my
that's dangerous.
my mom wasn't comfortable talking to people about her mental health, or didn't know what to say or where to go, what to do. And like
Mhm.
um
And we're
so
lucky we're surrounded now, like, TikTok, everywhere on
mm-hmm,
the internet, on YouTube, on TV, it's like mental
so
healthness.
common.
Yeah, it's so common.
Yeah, that you can talk about it so
Mhm.
freely. And yeah, so I want to say, as horrendous as this whole thing has been for me and my family, losing my mom, um it has gave me so much clarity on life, on my life, on like
Mhm.
what I want to do, or how I want to feel with what I'm doing, and like
Mhm.
I just want to do my best in whatever I do, and like make good joyful connections with people that I feel that will help me, or I will help them, and
Mhm.
just make genuine human connections with people and like just spread joy and positivity as opposed to being negative and like being like, woe is me. Like, I really want to take this time and be like, no, my mom would want me to continue to be joyful, continue to carry her torch and just be happy and joyful in what I'm doing. And yeah, it's like there's definitely some more clarity on my life because of that. And it also shows me too, like the pain, how much pain an individual can cause on the people around them that love them, whether it's family or friends, when you take your life. And I've seen it firsthand of how painful it is, and it makes me like all the dark voices that are in my head. It really, really silences those thoughts because I'm like, yeah, you know, my darkness might say, oh, you're not good enough, or why are you alive, or oh, this and that. I'm
like you're a burden.
no.
You used to say that. You're like, oh, am I a burden to everyone? Like, you used to say that.
That's a shitty thing to think of. And I'm like, I'm not going to give in to those thoughts because no way am I going to take away my own life and cause that pain.
It's a ripple.
And cause that pain to my friends and family. Like, because with my mom, it's like, no matter what happens, it's like, there's always going to be an empty hole, like a void, an empty hole in my heart where she was, like, and it will never be filled. Nothing will ever come close to filling that space. You know, it's my mom. Like, there's no one can replace your own mother, you know? And
Yeah,
it's like,
agreed.
Ups and downs you have with that person. It's like, at the end of the day, like, she gave me life. She gave me this life. She gave birth to me, you know? And, like, I'm living this moment because she gave life to me. And so, you know, I think the only thing, I mean, of course I had some moments of regret or moments of like, oh, if only I dot 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 dot. You know, if only I came home earlier, if only I da 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 da. All these things of what ifs. I think, like, you know, the thing that I would want, which is done and past, but like, I hope, you know, when she did do the act, like, of taking her life, that it wasn't, hopefully it wasn't too painful, you know, like, because like I would want to take that pain away from her, but like, it's done, it's already done and past.
Yeah,
there's nothing more than I can do to change it. All I can do is just live in the moment, which is now, and just to anyone who's like listening and listening to this, just know that, you know, taking your life and suicide, like, it's just not the answer. It really is not the answer. Like, you've been given this life for some reason. Who knows what that reason is, but you've been given this life and you live in this time at this moment in time, and you heard this podcast at this exact moment. Like, I'm here to tell you that you are worth it. You deserve to live. You are not a shitty person. You're not a burden. You're not, you know, if you're religious, you're not a big sinner to God and that God can't forgive you. Like, no. Like, you are enough just as you are. You're not a piece of shit. You're not like this like lazy bastard. Like, you're just, you need to stop being so hard on yourself. And I'm speaking from somebody, I'm speaking from from a place of like, I've done that stuff already. I've hated myself for so long. I've been so hard on myself for so long, and I'm like, why?
You're this beautiful person. You're this beautiful person. Like, why are we all hating on each other? You know what I mean?
So much energy is wasted. My energy is wasted on hating myself, and I'm like, I'm so done. I'm so done with it. I'm so tired of being tired of myself. And yeah, so anyone listening, I just want to say, like, you're worth it. You deserve to be here. Like, there's a reason why you're here, and even if you don't know what that reason is right now, you will soon enough. And I can tell you, just being who you are and interacting with people in life and just being you is good enough. Like, you don't need to be any more than what you are, you know? You already bring joy to your friends and family. Like, they enjoy your company. Like, just hold on to that, because I feel like, you know, my mom truly thought she was a burden. That's why she took her life. She thought she was going to be a burden to us, and this is the best case scenario. That's just what she thought. The best solution. And I'm like, Oh, Mom, like, if you only knew. If only you knew, like, how much we loved you. You know? If only you knew how much, like, we still need you. She probably thought, like, oh, the girls are grown up. I don't need to take care of anybody. Like, there's just, like, kind of the empty nest syndrome or whatever. But, as someone who I am living at home with my parents, so I shared a wall with my mom. Like, she was in the next room over me, so I would hear her snoring. I would hear say, I'm scared in Cantonese, like this towards her late, towards closer to her death. She was leading up to it. She was like, I'm scared. But, I have to accept that I did enough.
I'm gonna get you a Kleenex.
Yeah. I have to accept that I did all I could, and that's the hard part, is accepting that I did all I could do and, like, being okay with that. Because thanks, Liz. Yeah, that's the hard part, is accepting, like, I did all I could do, and that's all I could do. I gave it all I can, and I need to stop, like, I guess, punishing myself for thinking like I could do better, or I could have done better. I could have done this to save her. Like, it's just, I can't. I couldn't do it, and I even I checked myself into a psych ward, like an inpatient hospital, because I could feel my manic episode coming on, like, for my bipolar.
And you've been so good. And on top of that, there's many, many times on the podcast too, if you guys listen to it, Debbie's like, I don't know when it might happen again, but I'm gonna accept that it's gonna happen again. And and you weren't afraid of it.
No, I was like, all right, ready to go. Like, I could feel it coming, and like my family needed rest, and I needed rest, and so it was the best decision I ever made.
Anybody. You know what I mean? You're gonna lose sleep. You're not gonna your emotions are all over the place.
Yeah.
Your brain is frazzled. It's hard and heavy for anyone to go through any death, losing someone you love. And this one, it was just,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
To lose my mom, it's just.
So you actively felt that, hey, I'm like,
I could feel it coming. Like,
what does it feel?
It feels like, you're not really getting sleep.
You're restless?
You're not getting sleep. And
can you eat?
Yeah, I can eat. I can eat and stuff. And but it's just like a feeling I had. Like, I'm feeling like I can't sleep. Like,
before, when you had your episodes, you weren't quite in tune with it.
No.
As much as you are right now.
Yeah, I feel like right now I'm definitely more in tune. I'm definitely more, like, accepting of the fact of, like, oh, it happening again. I'm like, all right, like, it's okay if I go to the hospital again. I've been more accepting of, like, all right, if I go, and, like, that's it. Figure it out from there. So yeah, I checked myself into the hospital, and I was there for, like, almost, like, 12 days or something like that. I thought I was there for only 3 days.
It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. I had no idea. Like, time flies so fast. When you're in there, you don't even know, like, what's happening. You're just like, there's no clock really, and you're just there's no concept of time in there. It's just breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and
you said that they cooked pretty good, because I looked up a review, because I was like, where's Debbie going? Like, I want to know where they're taking her.
Oh yeah.
And I looked up reviews, and they're like, oh, very nice facility, very good food.
Yeah.
Like, they won't cook you the same food when you're in there.
Yeah,
it's always different. And the facility was nice and clean.
Yes.
And
the nurses were nice.
Nurses are very nice, friendly, and
totally. Yeah, everyone was really good, and I can't complain. Of course,
except for the psychiatrist. We give him a thumbs down.
Yeah, Donna says, like, thumbs down. I didn't even know who my psychiatrist was, so.
Which is crazy, to me,
Yeah, you think that's the first person I would know, but nope, I had no idea. And I was just like, okay, I'm just like doing my best in here. But like at the same time, like I also want to eventually go home.
Yeah.
Like trying to, but like they're saying things that I wasn't being compliant with when they got my blood drawn, which is untrue because I had nurses as eyewitnesses witnessing me get my blood drawn. So I had them like talk, one of the nurses who was there, like speak up for me and say, no, 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 she was compliant. She did the blood draw and everything. They're just saying things that I did that I didn't do.
I know. That's
Was
another thumbs down that I'm
Yeah.
just like, why can't you get the medical records in line, people? Like, that's your job.
Yeah. That's what Dawn was really upset about. Like,
Oh
so.
yeah, she was having a battle with them the
Yeah.
whole, like, most of the time that you were in there.
Yeah, she was calling every day, and like imagine getting a call from like Joshua or whatever, and your brother, and it's just like he's telling you like he's in hospital. He's like, Liz, like they're lying, like they're saying I'm not compliant,
Oh
but I
my
am being
God. It
compliant.
would
Like,
be a mind fuck. I'm like,
what? They're
what?
lying?
Like, who's lying to me? Is someone, I mean, are you telling me the truth? Who's telling me the truth? You know? Just confusion, chaos.
Chaos. So Donna just like was there the whole time, and she really fought for me. And
No, she really loves you.
yeah, she's
She
been
truly,
good. She's been a
truly
good
loves
sister.
you.
And I remember her telling me like, "Hey, Debbie," like on our ride home from seeing mom and stuff like that, she like kind of broke up in tears and was like, the person I worry about most, Debbie, is you. I worry that you'll do the same thing as mom or you'll take your life. She's like, along those lines. And she's like, please promise me you'll never do that to me. Like, I know your mind will say different things, but like, please, like, let me be your reason to stay. And she's tearing up and stuff like that. And she's just like, please, like, let me be your reason. Like I am your reason why you need to stay and keep holding on. I'm like, ooh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah. And so we just like, I hugged it out with her and she just teared up. I'm like, yeah, no, like, I'm gonna do the best I can with my mental health and like to stay on top of things. Um, but yeah, it's just, man, like, it's this mental health is like this mental illness is invisible. It's like this invisible battle you have within yourself, and sometimes you lose. Some, like in case of my mom, sometimes you lose near those battles. But me, I'm gonna keep fighting my battle and finding any way to bring light to that battle. Like in this podcast, like expressing to the viewers and to listeners, like, thank you so much for just listening, because like it just helps me. It's cathartic, first of all, but secondly, it helps me process like what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. Um, just to hear my thoughts aloud, and just hearing out loud, and hearing myself talk about my mom, and again, just a reminder like what a wonderful person she was and is and was. And I mean, Liz, my mom. Like,
Oh yeah. She leaves a lot. If you ever have like met her mom, she leaves an impression. You will never meet someone like her for sure. I mean, the first moment I met her, she's made an impression on me already. 6th grade, I just met Debbie. They invited me over to your house because we had to do a science project. And halfway towards your house, your mom picks us up, right? And you're getting in the car, and Donna's already in the front seat, and you're in the back seat. You jump into the back seat, with your like backpack, and you have your like, you're wearing like a matching set sweats, and you had like that very iconic like haircut, right?
Yes.
And you jump in, and you're like, "Hey, mom, Liz is coming over. We have a project to do," and she's like, "Oh yeah," and you can't see, I can't see her face, your mom's face yet. All I can see is that the door of the Honda is open in the back passenger. You climb in, you're looking at me from the rear view like window.
Yeah.
And your mom just drives off with the door still open. And as she's just driving off, you're just staring at me and I'm just standing there. And you're like, "Mom, we forgot about oh, Liz. And she's like, and I think she was like, okay. So, and I had to like walk to the car.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
so my mom.
Yeah, so your mom. And over the years, I've gotten to know your mom. You know, just such a fun, strong woman, strong Asian woman, like won't take shit, and has such a great sense of humor. Everything she does was funny.
Yeah.
Her mannerisms, the way she handled things.
Yes.
Hilarious. So many funny stories. So many hilarious
moments. And
moments.
And stories of my mom. Like, yeah, I don't know if it mentioned you, but like, is it Shang Wang, that comedian? I think I told you, but like, my mom.
No, tell it.
But
it's good.
Basically, we went to Lotus Land.
Lotus Land.
And my mom, back when my mom was alive, and
what is that?
Lotus Land?
Oh, it's a conservatory or
it's kind of
observatory, right?
Yeah, it's like a
botanical garden.
Botanical garden, kind of, but it has like all these different types of plants from all these certain places that was curated by this like very eccentric, what kind of wild lady. I forgot her name, but it was she's the one that curated and picked all the plants, and it's just a beautiful like preservation of like all these, like a garden, but like all these different plants and trees and cactuses and succulents and stuff. But anyways, you have to make a reservation and stuff to go see it. And so
where's this located in?
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
I want to say Santa Barbara, and or Montecito. I think it's Santa Barbara. And then we go, and lo and behold, see my twin sister actually pointed out that Shang Wang, the comedian,
hilarious. You guys have to see his special on Netflix. Good. So funny.
Is at Lotus Land, and my sister told the person at the front, like, it was like, oh, it's an 8-person to each group, and we're just like, oh, 8-person to each group, like Shang Wang can join our group because he was with 2 other people. So that,
and this is before you guys saw his special.
Yeah,
right?
We didn't see his special. We didn't know like how funny he was, and so she tells the person at front, like, hey, you should tell those 3 people to be in our group because that makes 8. And she's okay, yeah, sure. So
is this Donna saying?
Donna, hey.
They should be in our group. Shang Wang could be in our group. Make sure he's in our group.
Exactly. And like,
how long is the tour?
The tour is like, gosh, I want to say 45 minutes long. Like, it was pretty long. It felt like.
Whoa.
But yeah. So Shang Wang ends up being in our group.
Him and his wife or
girlfriend and a friend. So him and 2 other people. So it was made 8 of us. So we're like, oh, perfect. And we had a great time, but my mom kept farting. Like, no matter wherever we went, she kept like just like farting.
Loose
like in front of everyone. No, it's okay. In front of everyone, like no shame, just degaff, doesn't give a fuck.
I love it.
And it's farting like. And she's not in the back of the line. She's in the front in front of everyone. Where we have to go in the line to some of the pathways are really narrow. So like had to be like close by.
Yeah.
And she oh my gosh, mom, please stop. She's like, what? And like, Mom. Donna's finally was like so fed up with my mom farting. She's like, Mom, if you have to fart, you go in the back of the line. Go in the back of the line, Annie. And fart then, okay?
Anyone giggle? Like,
no, everyone just kind of accepted it. And then it's so funny because at the end, Donna was like, "Hey, she saw we ended up like parting ways because
oh my god,
just parting ways." So but then we get to the car and Shang Wang and his partner and friend were also getting to their car, and we just happened to park next to each other. And
that's
Donna was like, funny. Hey, to Shang Wang and his girlfriend, and I'm like, hey, just to the 3 of them, hey, really sorry about my mom farting. sorry she did that. Like, she just can't help it. And she's like, hey, it's totally cool. We were just saying, like, my Asian parents do that all the time.
So they were talking about it amongst each other.
Yeah,
it was like that noticeable that your mom was partying that.
And the girlfriend was so sweet. She's like, it's totally fine. My dad did the same exact thing last time. They're so sweet.
United by your mother's farts.
Exactly.
This is the kind of, these are the stories. This is just one of a plethora of just memorable stories about your mother, Mrs. Yen, just Annie Yen.
And just being herself.
Hilarious. Yeah. Don't give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck.
She doesn't even think, like, most of us, like, should I fart? Should I let it out now? No, I can't. I just gotta hold it. I gotta suffer with it all inside me, just trapped gas. Her is just like, nah,
just letting it out. Let it out. Yeah, that's a great thing about mom, and I just love that
Hilarious.
she's so like, she was so sure of herself in that way. Like she did not second guess at herself. She's no, I'm gonna pass some gas. I'm gonna pass some gas. You're not gonna stop me. Like no one could ever stop her.
Please, mom. Please.
Please, mom.
For the love of
Mom,
God.
you gotta go to the back of the line then. If you're gonna fart, you gotta go back of the line.
It is funny because it's not like little small like beep. It's like
it's really like no, mom, please, not again. Not again.
So
Mom.
when you heard it the first couple times during the garden tour, you're just like after every time you like heard it, you're just like, did you feel like a little tightness?
Yeah, embarrassment from like
this celebrity comedian and his girlfriend and friend.
Yeah, hearing her like, oh, do you hear that? Like then the tour guide would be like, do you hear those birds? Those warblers.
Those birds.
Do you hear those birds? It's silent.
Chirp, chirp, chirp,
no. I was like, oh, mom, no.
There was a chirp.
Not during the time we had to listen to the birds chirp. Bad timing, Annie. No.
Oh my God, that's so amazing.
But our tour guide was like old herself.
Yeah.
I think older than my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't faze her. She's like, that's cool. Like, it didn't faze her at all. No.
I respect.
Yeah, she was just like, you gotta fart. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah,
good.
my mom is just like has been and is an amazing woman, and I just really want to take this time to like just take a moment to like acknowledge like how great she was and is, and I'm
so thankful she never kicked me out. I went to their house so much.
I know.
That even my mom was pissed. My mom's not even home because she's working all the time.
Yeah.
Managing her stores or whatever. And I would always go to their house, and then I would get in trouble for going to their house too many times.
Did?
Yeah. All the time. My mom would get so pissed. She was just like, you're there again? I'm like, yeah, why? I'm having fun here.
Yeah.
And her parents never kicked me out once.
No.
Never. And I'm sure I've been to their house like the first year, many times. Like hundreds of times already.
Yeah.
And they never kicked me out. Your mom never kicked me out. They could have.
Yeah.
I have been kicked out.
Oh.
I have been kicked out of people's houses. Like, okay, you have to go home now.
Yeah, I hear you. But no,
never.
There's no. Yeah, Lou's here. Okay.
Oh, she wants to go to GA? She wants to go to
GA.
She wants to go to GA. She wants to go to church class with you guys on a Friday night. Yeah, she can go. Like, she wants to go to the Asian buffet with us. Sure.
Oh, that's so funny. GA. Oh my gosh, we got you to go.
Oh my God.
I think J stand for Girls in Action or something.
That's how much I love you guys. I was just like, oh fuck, I don't want to go to GA. Okay, fine, I'll go. I have nothing better else to do on a Friday night. I'll just go listen to these crazy Christian girls talk about Jesus. Fuck.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, in this case, we'll take a little break. And we'll be right back.
Beanie World.
Beanie.
We're both wearing beanies. I saw Debbie and I was like, oh my God, you look so cute. You got
cozy.
Is this Sherpa, right?
Sherpa.
What do they call it? Teddy jacket or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look very cute.
Thank you.
And I was like, I'm wearing a beanie too.
Beanie World.
Twins.
So
yeah, getting back into it.
Back into
a
it.
lot, Debbie. A lot.
Yeah, it's just losing your mom to suicide is not easy.
I know. It's like, let's get back to it.
Let's get back into
mom,
this. Yeah.
It's
damn.
This is Mooncakes, guys. This is
it's a heavy episode.
It's a heavy episode, yeah, for sure. I agree.
But it's also like for me very like freeing and also like liberating to just be like, hey, yes, it's dark what happened to my mom, but she faced it like with her. She made it as her choice. Like she took matters into her own hand and just was like, hey, I'm done. And just kind of in a way, it's kind of like pretty ballsy what my mom did,
Like she always is. She's ballsy.
Face death in the face and like, nah, I'm gonna do it anyways. And
yeah.
Just, I guess I'm sure there's fear coming around it, but she just did it anyways. And it's just, yeah. I mean, I personally have gone through like some dark moments in my life where I wanted to take my life.
Yeah.
I never to that degree act upon it. I think the closest I acted upon it was
pills.
when I was pills. And that was when I was manic, like really manic, and thought like I had to save the world. So I had to take, give my life up for, to save the world, and took tried to overdose on pills, but luckily those pills were like harmless. But I had like a mental suicide or mental death, if you would call it.
Yeah, which is very dangerous.
Yeah, like you really think like, oh my gosh, I just took all these pills. Like, what am I doing? And I had this ultimate regret, immediate regret. And I tried to throw up the pills. And luckily, again, the pills I took weren't lethal. And I was able to be just fine.
But it could have been.
Could have been lethal, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been real bad.
Could have been really bad. But yeah, so.
So this experience just wakes you up, right? It's just like you said, like it's just, you would never want to do this. It really puts things in perspective. Totally. Real life perspective right here. Not just imagine that everyone, you committed suicide and then you had imagined how the day after would be and how, you're
living it. No, this is like living like what's life like without my mom. And it's tough. It's really tough because, again, it's just like, it just came out of nowhere for us. We knew she was kind of struggling with her, like some depression or feeling scared about things, but we never knew to this extent of how much she was just thinking about taking her own life. Yeah. If at any point did I hear her say, I'm so scared, Debbie, I feel like I need to kill myself. Like,
so she's never mentioned that ever once.
Anything.
And this looked familiar to you, the behavior that was happening? Because it's happened a good amount of times throughout our whole life, since I've met you, I don't know how many times before that. Was that the first time?
I think middle school was the major one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was, good. She had good phases and then she had like moments that were low.
Yes.
So you thought that, hey, she's just going to bounce back from it.
Yeah.
After a while.
Exactly. Like she just needs a little encouragement. Just needs a little less pressure or whatever it is that's giving her pressure will help alleviate that.
And she was a very active woman. I want to make that clear that for years, decades, she would go swimming. Even though it's cold, she would throw on her wetsuit. She would go for a swim. And then she'll go ride on her bike.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
She was active. She wasn't just like doing nothing about trying to stay fit and stuff,
True.
She would tell Debbie when she's at your low point, like, Debbie, get out, go walk, go do something, go be active, That
was her way of fixing things.
Yeah. And so she really tried.
She did. It's not like she, didn't try at all or, just lack of trying. Like she actually did put effort into anything she did, and she really worked hard to battle her demons and battle those dark voices. But ultimately, in the end, she couldn't do it anymore. She's tired.
Yeah.
And we're just we just want her to be at peace now, and just like,
Mhm.
and just know that we're not mad at her. I mean, we said to her when she was in her hospital bed, like laying there, breathing and stuff. We just would tell her like, we're not mad at you. We love you, and just know that you're still so important to us. And just know that like you can let go.
Yeah.
Feel free to let go, and don't like feel like you need to hold on anymore. Like we want you to just
You
be
guys
at
gave her
peace.
your blessing.
Blessings,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like just blessings to let go and just be. But yeah, that's my reality. It's just like growing older and without my mom being there, and
Mhm.
share my triumphs, share my lows. There's that person that was in my corner. She's no longer there anymore, and I think that's what's really hard is to accept. You know, I even tried looking for like a note, something, right? Just
Mhm.
some kind of note maybe she left behind,
Mhm.
hoping that like it could
Oh, my heart.
answer something, but
Yeah.
there's no note.
Yeah.
And so it just showed you like she's like, nope, this is my decision. And I think she knew that we would know what she was thinking at the time. At least I think she knew that I would know, because even though there's no note, like me battling my own demons, battling with depression, with manic episodes and depressive episodes, like I know how dark your thoughts can get. And
Yeah.
my mom always told me, like when we had conversations, she's like, Debbie, how do you know that's how I felt? Like that's how I feel. Like you always know how I feel. Like you know exactly what to say.
Yeah.
How do you know? Like, and I always tell my mom, like, it's because I'm you. Like we have the same kind of mental illness. Like we feel that about each other.
Mhm.
Like you're not alone, mom. And I always would tell her she's not alone. Um, but again, it's just unfortunately, wasn't enough.
Mhm.
Like no matter how many conversations I had with her, trying to not even trying to be, but just ended up being like her therapist. Like because she didn't feel
Mhm.
comfortable sharing with a stranger. We
Mhm.
would have those conversations, and it just wasn't enough. And it's sad to say it wasn't enough, but I did all I could, and I'm as I mentioned earlier, like it's just accepting that I did all I could do,
Mhm.
and that it's enough. Like that's really hard. It's really hard to accept that, because you're always leaving room for like what
What
ifs.
if?
What
Yeah.
if I did this, or what if I said that, or
Mhm.
oh, like I should have called
Even
her.
kind of like almost driving yourself crazy with what are the little things that you could have done, and then you're just like living in the past.
Exactly. Living
Get
in the past, and you
lost.
get lost in the past, and then you're just like, what am I doing? Like this is not healthy, and you're just you you have to be present to get things done and for the future, like if I keep on living in the past and like just I would still be in hospital. I would still be, just reliving and the nightmare over and over again. But
Mhm.
I think, there comes a time where you have to move forward. You have to, of course not forget the person, but at least
Mhm. Yeah.
let go and forgive yourself, and any anger, any resentment, anything, like you just gotta let go, and disappointment in yourself. You have to let it all go, because I did all I could. I did all I could, and there's a part of me that was like blaming myself, like saying, "Oh, I could have done this," or
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, what if I did that?" And like maybe just if I was there 15 minutes earlier, like just this wouldn't have happened. But
It's out of
yeah,
your
it's
hands,
out of my
man.
hands,
It's out of
totally
your
out of my hands.
hands.
And yeah, I'm just like at a point where I don't know. I don't know. I'm at a point where I still really can't accept maybe and believe that she's gone. There's a part of me that still thinks like, in the morning
She's gonna come down the stairs.
she'll come in, or she'll just knock on my door, and like be there, but
Mhm.
with dumplings. Like last time, like one of the last things she gave me to eat was like dumplings.
The ones that she makes on
Yeah,
her
I think she got it for store bought.
but she still brought
Store bought, but she cooked
She
them.
makes really good dumplings, guys,
She makes a good dumplings
by scratch.
by scratch, but these are store bought.
Yeah.
But and I'll always remember her giving me this such a like a warm hug on Thanksgiving Day, like out of the blue. She just hugs me and just gives me a kiss on the cheek. I was like, "Oh, thanks, Mom." She love you. And like, oh, and I bragged to Donna and Diana, like, Mom gave me a hug and a kiss. And they're like, how come we didn't get one? And then, Mom, we didn't get one. And my mom, okay. So my mom goes around, hugs both of them, and gives them a kiss.
That one was forced.
That was forced. But it was just so like sweet and innocent the way that my mom gave me that hug and kiss. And I'm always going to cherish that.
Yeah.
But I think the hardest part is like those, it's not the big stuff. It's like the little things that you feel like you're afraid that you'll forget what it's like her voice. Like I'm afraid to forget like what she sounds like, stuff like that.
Scott, you have recordings?
I'm sure I have a recording of her on my phone or something, but it's just tough. And then like seeing like old videos of her, because you're trying to make a slideshow, right? And you're part of that. Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm honored.
There's videos that I came across of her and like holding a spider crab,
oh my god,
just like random stuff, and just like
everything's great.
She's so lively in those moments. Like you still feel like that person's alive, but it's just the essence of them. It's just not the real person, not them alive, but like just seeing them so lively in those videos and pictures and everything. You're just like, wow, you're like, this person, lived a great life. And she's so smiling. And when she was good, she was really good.
Yeah.
She was happy and she was joyous and she had fun. And, she was our mom and, my dad's, wife. And she wasn't just a mom and a wife, but she was Annie, she was like her own person.
Yes.
And she just was so funny. I don't know how to explain it. It's just one of a kind. And I just know that, like, for me, it's going to be really hard to move on knowing that she won't be here. And that she isn't here. And, that's where I'm at this point. Like, just trying to figure out what life is like without her. Yeah. I have my friends. I have you. I have my friends and family who have stuck by me. And, like, even when I was going through my own thing, like after, you visit, like Liz, she, visited me at the hospital when I went to inpatient. And I just remember like smelling your hair, like, oh, you smell good.
And I was like, I did that just for you. I was like, I wanted to make sure like I look nice and that I, it smelled nice for you. And
yeah, Liz smells good.
She turned around, she's like sitting at like a cafeteria table, like nice cafeteria. And then like the nurse lets us in, and then she's just like sitting there with a cup of tea her sister made, and then she turns around and she's like, "What up, bitch?"
That's so me. What up, bitch? like totally normal circumstances. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great. I said that.
And that's like the first time I saw her after like, all the, your mom passing and stuff. And it was just like one thing after another. So it was so much stress. And also I was, of course, I want to see your face. I was concerned, and I didn't know anything about this facility. I wanted to make sure that it was a good place for you to be in, and yeah, just to see you it was good, man.
Yeah,
it was good.
It's good, man. It's good to see your face. It's good to see like your friends' faces after like going to like when you're going inpatient hospital. Like, yes, it's like a psych ward, whatever you want to call it, mental hospital, but like it's not that scary. It's like
it was nice.
It was nice. It's like
it was nice,
and clean, and like the facility clean, and like it was kind of like my mental sanctuary. Like I just had to
let loose,
man. Scream if I have to, talk weird or whatever. Any crazy thoughts I'm having, it doesn't even matter. You just live it out and let it live until it stops. And just seeing you, Liz, and Joseph, like you guys are just, my reminder of what I have outside of the inpatient hospital.
Yeah.
You remind me like, oh wait, I do have a life outside of this. It's not just me living in this in hospital, inpatient hospital, like mental institution. Like, no, I have friends and family that care about me that are on the other side waiting for me to come out.
Yeah.
Waiting for me to get out of this,
Yeah.
Because like I don't and nobody wants me to be there forever. But they also want to make sure that I'm safe.
Yeah.
So everyone understood like why I did what I did, and I think a lot of people commended me for like choosing to voluntarily go into hospital.
Oh yeah.
Because usually nobody would choose to go into inpatient hospital. It's like not by choice. Usually it's like
you're
against
being
their
dragged.
will. Yeah, against their will to go to the hospital. But I knew for myself, I was like, nope, I gotta go. Like I could feel it, and like let's go.
Well, I heard that you did act like you agreed to go in.
Yes.
But then, of course, because you're manic, you're going into your manic phase.
Yeah.
So you're gonna act out a little bit. And,
yes.
Ooh, Debbie is naughty, naughty girl. Debbie's become naughty.
I like spit in people's face. Like I like did some crazy things. Man. Like when you're manic, it's just like you're just in a really bad trip.
It's like because you're going through so much emotional turmoil, it's just so much stress that you just kind of like check out a bit.
You check out and you just act out, and like what is it?
Another version of Debbie comes out.
An
alter ego,
and
man.
Was it you and Donna call it Shiva or something like that? Like,
yeah, because I was talking to Donna. I was like, we were hanging out at your house in front of the fire with Cleo and just hanging out, and I was like, Debbie's like so Buddha-like. So Buddha, like so Zen, so like forgive everybody.
Yeah.
Let go. Smile within, But then fucking Shiva fucking comes out, man. Shiva motherfucking comes out, and it's just like,
fuck you. Spin your face. I'll spin your face.
Like, you had to be held down. And I mean, it's wild. No, when we did the visitation, when we first initially saw Debbie, and then we were talking with her, obviously, Debbie's there, but she's slightly checked out. You know what I mean? She'll be what's the more where like a little bit more theatrical.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like you'll feel it was a 30-minute session, and honestly, it felt like a trip. Like you're crying, you're laughing, you're going through all the emotions in 30 minutes.
Oh wow.
Like fear, concern, like your friend's gonna be okay, and also like laughing because Debbie's hysterical. Like so funny. There's this time where she's like, all of a sudden she like slams the table, and I'm like, everyone's like, huh? And then she's like, bless, everyone bless. and I'll be like, and it's like so quiet in there, and all we're like, Debbie, oh my God, Debbie. And then so it was great. It was great to see Debbie, and it was good to know that she's in a safe place. And me and Joseph. So when they take you, when you finally, end of the visitation, they separate you, and then so the patients go out with a nurse first, and then they take an elevator and they go up because you're underground.
Yes,
you're on an underground floor, and then they take you upstairs. So they took all the patients. It was like maybe 7 patients.
Yeah.
And the nurse, everything was like, bye, Debbie. And Debbie's like, bye. And then, she goes, and the second nurse takes us after you guys have gone. And we're like, oh yeah, that was a good visit with Debbie. And then there's like 5 other, visitors with us. And then we're in this like metal elevator, obviously. And then all and it's like when you come into the lobby on the first floor, it's like nice. There's like ambient music, very calm and stuff. And then it was just like, and then there's doors, obviously, that you come in and stuff. And but we're going upstairs, and as the elevator is going up, we hear a faint like, and we're like, and it's like getting a little bit louder. And I was like, I'm hearing it, but I chose to ignore it because I'm like, I'm just imagining things. I'm totally imagining things. It's not a big deal. But, it's like that your typical, psych ward kind of sound, like people screaming. It's like not as theatrical as like, other movies where there's like tons of people wailing at the same time.
Yeah.
But you hear
one voice.
Ah! And we're like, what? I was like, and then Joseph looked at me. He's like, that sounds like Debbie. And I'm like, wait. We have to wait.
Oh, no.
So the elevator comes to a halt on the first floor. And you hear, and we're like, what? The door slides open. And there are like a horde of people, nurses, that are like freaking out.
Oh my
and they're
God.
all okay. So here's the door open. Here's the opening, right? You just see a ton of nurses just like, Debbie, you're gonna be okay. And there's just like tons of personnel just going that way. And we're like, what the fuck? And then our nurse in the door, like obviously I don't want to make him freak out. Like, ma'am, you need to stand. So, I didn't want to do like that. So I just like peeked over. And Debbie's on the ground being held by like
my gosh.
7 people, 7 nurses, and she's like at the front entrance door. You can't go through the door unless you're a nurse and you have a
fob.
Yeah, a fob of the key, right?
Yeah.
To scan it or whatever. And she in that corner, like I guess she was trying to like make for a run for it or something, maybe. It's possible. I don't know.
Just like
know.
wanting help. And
wanting help or
from
something.
The other side, I could see through the window, like the window on the door.
Yeah,
there's
it's
other
like
people outside.
like medical doors where it has like those thin windows.
Yes.
So, oh my God, I was like, first of all, obviously, I'm very concerned because there's little Debbie being held by like 8 or 9 people, and then there's more security around her, and everyone's like code red. You see people are freaking out, and Debbie, you are so strong.
I am so strong.
You are so strong, and you're being held down, and you're like.
Like an exorcist.
Yeah, it was like exorcist, and they're like, Debbie, it's gonna be okay. Is it gonna be okay? I was like, Debbie, it's gonna be cool, man. You're gonna be fine. I believed. I was like, you're gonna be okay. This is just one moment.
She's in a safe. I was in a safe.
You're
place.
in a safe space.
If I'm gonna react like that, this is the place to do it.
This is the place to do it. Yes, definitely. And then. I think the psychiatrist or someone, he went to go grab a wheelchair.
Oh my God. I still remember that wheelchair they brought.
Yeah, they brought it.
Sit me in it. And I was like, no.
Yeah. No. And then, as you can see, we're all still in the elevator. All the visitors.
Oh my God.
We're still there because they're all telling us to stay back.
Oh, wow.
And they wheel you off.
Oh, wow.
And you're like, off with like 15 people.
Wow.
It was wild. Okay, and so I was just like, Joseph, she's gonna be okay, right? Like, just like, yeah, Debbie always comes back. He was like, Debbie always comes back.
Doesn't phase, just never phase.
Never phase. I open up the door and there's a lobby.
Yeah.
And when we came in, there was nobody there. So I never expected anyone on the other side of that door. There were like 15 families of like, because there's the adult visitation time and then there's the adolescent visitation time. And there was like 15 families, and this is probably like maybe their first time visiting their child at a clinic, like a hospital like this. So you could see the terror on their face because you're looking through the window, you're like and they're just like, they're like holding their like kids. They're just like,
oh no. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
But it was like, now and then Donna's like, how was your visit? And I was like, I'm not. I was like, she's way too stressed out right now. I am not gonna say anything. Later on, it'll be funny, but right now, as it is, it's not good.
It's not good.
So we're just like, yeah, it was good. Which one? It was great. It was a great visit. It was a great visit.
Yeah, it's so funny.
But yeah, I was just like, damn, Debbie, you just made that finale. Like, you just had like great
dramatic timing.
Yeah.
I still remember why. I
Yes.
reacted. It was because of this dude, one of the dudes in my psych ward. I pat him on the shoulder. I'm like, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
He's like, don't fucking touch me. And he said something like that. Like,
Ooh, someone's
don't
having a bad day.
don't fucking touch me. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I freaked out. I was so like hurt by him. Like, don't fucking touch me. Like,
Yeah,
I was
so
hurt by that.
aggressive.
I was so hurt by that that I freaked out and I just like dropped my tea and I just ran to the exit, and then the doors closed, so I can't. There's a slither of a window, and on the other side, I see other people on the other side. Like, help! And then
Oh, you make them look so bad.
Yeah, and then like, somebody help me!
Like they were torturing
you.
Like they're gonna lobotomize you or something like that. No,
they're so nice. Those nurses, they held me down and like they really gave the wheelchair, and I was like, ah, and just like squirming out of the chair. I think I finally relaxed, but I just remember so many nurses, and one of them is like, her name is Ace, and she was really sweet, and she's like, told me it's gonna be fine, Debbie, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I think I like try spitting on them. Like that's really bad. Really bad. And I even apologized to her later, like, hey, sorry I spit at you.
Yeah, because you're not in control. There is someone in
takes
the front
over
seat.
the front wheel.
Yeah,
the wheel, and I'm just like this other person.
Yeah,
it's so not like me. It's like everything
you would never. No, like if you guys can go through all of our episodes, you will consistently see that Debbie is Debbie.
Yeah, just logical,
very
practical. I would like to think I'm considerate and all that, but
I'm telling you, Buddha and Shiva, the Shiva comes out.
So true.
But you know what? That's what happens. Oh, yeah. Hey, come in. Do you know you use the bathroom?
No.
Oh, we're still recording. It's okay.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we've been through a lot, Liz. You see me through a lot. But yeah, I just oh my gosh, with my mom and then me going to the hospital. It's like it's been a lot. It's been a lot. But again, you just see all these people show up for you through this kind of low moment in your life. You see how many people like care about you and like show up for you, and you're just like, okay, like everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, even though it's painful.
You got so much support in your life because you've made these connections and relationships over the decades.
Yes.
And it shows, like you said, who's your true friend because they show up, they care.
Yes.
And I have to add too, Debbie, sometimes when you're like trying to like blame yourself about what, I just want to say, as a family and also as an individual, like talking about it, being courageous enough to talk about it and to shine light on something that, especially in the Asian community, is known as shameful and all that shit, that bullshit. As a family, you guys have really gracefully, not even trying, but like gracefully approached this.
Yeah.
And in the long run, I feel like you're doing such a service to so many other people's families and individuals out there that may go through this in the future, but just, I have to say, like, I wouldn't know anyone else who could do it better than you and your family. Just being so graceful at accepting this and dealing with it, and even talking about it, being vulnerable, and giving us insight into this time in your life, which so many people choose to shut themselves in it, bury themselves in it,
not talk
about it, and ultimately it doesn't do anyone any help, which is their choice. But I really appreciate it. And also, you're making a huge shift. You, your sisters, your family as a whole, it's making a shift. It's taking that negative energy from choices that people make. Of course it's gonna hurt individuals, but you're also not condemning it. And hopefully others that listen to this can also find that like empathy, and not because a lot of people they'll feel so much like hatred and shame and just like mistrust of people and stuff. It's just, people go through shit. Life is hard.
Life is really hard.
It's difficult. And it's like, how are we going to help the issue by being more upset about it? You know, like you're always telling me, let it go, Liz. Let it go. Don't move on.
Harbor and like hold on to and harbor it within you. And
but talk about it, right?
Talking about it helps a lot. It helps you acknowledge what is, and when talking about it, and then once you acknowledge of what is, then you can take the next step of like, now that I've shed light on this dark moment or dark thought, how do I move on from it? How do I move past this? Because I can't keep reliving this same trauma over and over again, or reliving this same darkness over and over again. It does me no good. How can I move past this and just say like, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. You know, there's things that I wish I could have done differently, but the past is just the story I tell myself. What can I do now in the present that will dictate my future? But what can I do now in the present that will make me happier? And I think that what I can do now in the moment that will make me happier is just like being a mental health advocate, talking about mental health and talking about how my mom went and how her life isn't just this sad mess. Like her life is it's full of beauty. It's full of happiness. It's full of love. And it's because she made it that way. And, you know, life is so precious. Death brings, mortality and death brings the beauty in life of living and the preciousness of being alive. If we were to all live forever and never die, then, life would be pretty meaningless. You're just like, well, I'm going to live forever anyway. So it's like, what's the point, But as soon as you know that death is there as an ending for life on earth, then you really cherish that life you have. And just because it's an ending for your life on earth physically doesn't mean spiritually or your soul or anything ends as well. Who knows what happens to our consciousness and our actual soul and energy, what happens to it once we leave this vessel. I truly believe we go back to the source, wherever that source is that our consciousness and soul and energy, whatever you want to call it, came from. It's all we'll come back to our maker, the one that first created us. And I think that created us, I think it all results from love. I think love is that energy. I think God is love. I think God is, not this human, angry man or something in the sky. I think it's a loving energy that, protects us if we lean towards him or her, like just protects us. I think this whole thing has made me look at death differently, and especially being by my mom's side and holding her hand to her last breath has made me realize like how precious life is, how fragile life is. And I really want to make the best of my life and continue to be a mental health advocate. And I'm glad that we were able to dedicate this whole, episode to my mom, Annie. And just thanks for listening, like thanks to you, Liz, for being there for me. And like
always, man.
Yeah.
Always. You've always been there for me. You've extended your hand of friendship so easily to me when I so needed it. Like you are a loving person, and I'm so I feel honored that you would still let me be part of your life during this really difficult time in your life, you know what I mean? Also allowing me to learn so much firsthand from you going through this. And I've also, my life has shifted too, from like being close to you guys and being there for you guys during this moment that benefited me.
Yeah.
Just learning, like you said, like how precious life is. you know, and even when I don't feel like getting up, I'm going to still try to get up.
Yeah.
You know, everything ends.
Do.
Everything ends. Okay, everyone. Might as well start the story by taking that step. Get up.
Yeah.
Move around. You know, you never know what's around the corner.
True.
So it's like also reminds me to be continuously curious. To constantly, because you never know what's going to be your medicine.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm in heavy into electronic music. I'm an electronic music producer. You know, that's what I'm. But like you never know, another genre of music can uplift you. Like right now, I'm into indie rock right now. So always be curious. Like books, read books, whatever. Go try something different. You never know if that's your cup of tea.
Yeah.
Also, thanks to Debbie for giving me the book by Brene Brown.
Yeah, Brene Brown. Gifts of Imperfection.
Yeah, Gifts of Imperfection. It's an amazing book, guys. If you want someone to like just easily break down, you know, shame, being kind to yourself, gratitude, what is joy. It's honestly helped me so much. I really thank you for giving me that book. It's just, maybe you guys can get something from it, but
yeah, it's been a wild ride, Liz. And Liz was actually the person I called on my way to see my mom at the hospital her last night on Earth, you know. And Liz was the person I called. It's like, you know, it's like you ask yourself, like, all right, like I feel like I need to call someone just to help me, you know, keep me focused and like help me on my ride there. Like, who's that person gonna be? And I just knew, like, oh, like it was just like no brainer. I was like, it's gonna be Liz. I'm gonna call Liz, and you were just there for me. You know, you're just there to listen, there to say the right things. Like you just were present, and because nothing can prepare you for this, right? But you were so present, and you're just so willing to let me express myself and just be myself and go through the emotions with me. But yeah, it was great being able to talk with Liz during that time, and like I said, spend the night with my mom and be by her side, hold her hands, like all that. Like my mom was loved to the very end, you know, even after her passing, we're just like, all right, her last breath, you know, finally, you know, was done. And so she's officially, you know, like soul or energy, if you believe all that, is out of her body, floating around. And Donna, my twin, was like, Mom, okay, Annie, go to the light. You may be lost right now. You are officially dead. Please go to the light. Don't be lost, Annie. Go to the light.
That's great.
And
I can hear you.
Yeah. You're officially dead, Annie. Please go to the light.
Donna, I can hear you. I can't see. I don't see you.
Oh my gosh, it's just like we just hear mom just being like oblivious to everything. It was funny when Dawn said that. It like totally made me chuckle.
Oh my god!
But it was great because I got to also thank the nurses.
Yeah.
That like really took good care of my mom when we were there, and they were so sweet. He's like, "Can I give you a hug?" And he like, gave me a hug. And like,
I heard they were like, one guy was really funny. Like he was so kind and like wise, but he also like he presented like he's just like a funny person.
And then Donna talked to him.
Yeah,
he was like a Iranian man, and like he was just like,
he had an accent.
Hey, you know, you did the best thing you could for your mother. Like he's like, he just said something like, "Hey, you did the right thing.
Yeah,
good.
Don't let them suffer. You're doing such a good thing for them.
Good thing, yeah.
Good thing for her.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Look, she goes in peace. Look, so comfortable.
So comfortable. Yeah. No, I'm glad we did what we did, and you know, as a family, there was no disagreement on like, oh, like should we keep mom alive? Should we keep her alive or not alive? Or like, no, we are not like we are letting her go. We're not gonna hold on to her and just let her live her life out in a vegetative state. Like, no, we're not doing that to her. But yeah, it's just yeah, right now it's like, yeah, just me and my dad, and we're just, hanging out every day and go for a walk, go for 2 walks, one in the day and one towards the evening, and eat together, hang out, and just, yeah, it's just me and my dad. It's quiet without my mom, but this is our new normal,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's something that we both, me and my dad, just have to get used to,
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I'm gonna miss my mom. I love her so much, and um, yeah, I love you, Annie. I know you're listening to us from above or wherever you're at, and like, just whenever I have a tough time, I know just I'll lean onto you, and wherever you're at, mom, just like help guide me to where I need to be and keep me accountable for, like,
Mhm.
to show up in life and to do things, and really try my best to just live my life.
I have to commend you, Debbie. Like, usually I was just like, I asked Joseph when Debbie was going through her manic phase and she was in the hospital, and I was like, Joseph, like, how long do you think it's gonna be until Debbie comes back? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is it gonna be like, to me, I was like, you know what? Maybe like a month, 2 months. But sometimes when she comes out of the hospital, she's not back.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of like in a
Still,
depressed,
yeah, yeah.
low mode. And I wanted to say all the work that you have done on yourself, in the past, it's working. Because Debbie, when I saw her, and you can tell, like, I could tell right when I look in Debbie's eyes if she's there or not, and
Mm-hmm.
you are there. And this is the fastest recovery ever. You made it even back before Christmas.
I know.
We thought that maybe she was going to be there, like stay until after Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bitch came out right before Christmas, like a
Right
couple days
before
before Christmas.
Christmas.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and it's just an amazing, you whatever you're doing, keep it up, because this has been the fastest recovery. And I also want to share other people who are, having difficulties, or have a family member or a friend that's just going through this the first couple of times and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Have faith,
Have
have
faith.
hope,
Yeah.
because Debbie is putting it down.
I'm showing up. I'm living my life. I'm showing up and just doing the best I can in the moment. Like, so what if I spit in somebody's face? So what if I scream and crawl out and crawling and yelling Bloody
And you have
Mary,
like 12 people
12 people
holding
holding me
you down and
down,
wheeling you
Like,
out.
all these things are like, yeah, I could be like embarrassed by it or feel like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Like, dude, I fucking did that. And like, I'm sorry. In the moment, it felt right. Like,
Yeah.
it felt normal to me to do all those things. But really, like, you know, I just, I just feel like life is like a stage, and I'm just acting in it,
Yeah.
and I'm just acting in the moment, and I act with like like I'm gonna die, Like, I just act to my heart's content, and then I get out of the phase, and I'm like, ooh, what just happened,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thank you so much for acknowledging my efforts and like my ability to bounce back, because
Mhm.
when you're in it and when you're the person going through it, you tend to overlook that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you think like you don't tend to give yourself enough credit.
Oh, so
So
impressed.
yeah,
So
yeah, man,
impressed,
back,
man.
man, and I'm really happy to be here, and I'm just happy to be alive and to be able to spread the message that there's nothing wrong with having a mental illness. Like, it's being bipolar has made me even more human, if you can believe that. It has made me more empathetic. It has made me feel emotions more extreme, more sensitive to emotions, feeling emotions more extreme. Like, all of these things has made me, I think, a better human. And so, you know, I just want to leave on this note that, like, if you're going through it right now, like, so that dark time in your life, and you're feeling like there's no reason to live, just whatever the reason those dark voices are telling you, that you're not good enough, that you deserve to die, even like all these dark, dark thoughts, like,
Mhm.
just know that is not you. That is
Mm.
just a separate thing, a separate voice. That's not your true heart. Your true heart's content is wanting to live and wanting to just live a joyous life and to enjoy life and to just to explore and be curious and just be like a child, like, you know. And it's nothing, all the darkness and stuff like that is what we adopt when we like get older, and like we tend to shut down our childlike curiosity and absorb more of the adult, like, you know, adult living, and just trying to
so rigid,
just trying to make a buck, you know, to hustle and grind. And, you know, life is all about just grinding. And I'm like, no, life's not all about grinding. Life is beautiful, and life is all about being curious and pursuing your dreams and your anything that makes you come alive, whatever that is. And yeah, sure, you gotta pay the bills, I get it, which is fine, but don't let that be your entire identity. You know, you're a multifaceted individual. You have so many parts of you that makes up your personality, who you are. So yeah, anyone who's listening, like, we'll put the number for the suicide hotline. We'll put it.
And also the link for the Asian Society of spreading awareness on mental health as well. Donna, her twin sister Donna picked out that link, so I'll also add the hotline number and also that link.
Yeah. And I think I feel like this is not the end of the Mooncakes podcast, but at the end of this episode. But
and we'll probably revisit this continuously more in depth in certain parts of it. In the future. But it's not, we cried together, we laughed together, we, it's all of the above here.
So I know in our last couple episodes we were laughing together, but in this episode we're shedding some tears and crying together. But that's like what I love about this podcast, is like we just go with what is and what has happened, and just be honest with ourselves, like what we're going through. Like, it would be wrong of me to like do an episode and not talk about
let's watch this funny video. Which we love doing that, but this is what's going on and we're not hiding it.
This was a moment to honor my mom and to let her know that she lived a beautiful life. And like I said, I miss you.
Young.
I love you, Mom. I hope wherever you're at that you're resting peacefully now. And I hope you know how much you are loved and have been loved by so many people. And, save me a spot. Save me a spot in heaven for me. I love you. And until then, until we're reunited again, I'm going to keep carrying that torch and just bring honor to you. I love you. All right. Well,
take care, guys. Thanks again for listening.
Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you all. And again, no one's told you this. Like, we love you. Your Mooncake sisters love you. And feel free to reach out to us. We got mooncakes.podcast at gmail.com. We have we're on Instagram. We're on YouTube.
Just click the link tree button below.
And and then they'll you can find us from how to communicate with us there. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Take care, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Fuck.